going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here today, guys, and today I'm actually picking up on my Nightmare series that I left off like 2 years ago. And the movie I left off with is right here, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. Now, The Dream Master, I don't know why I stopped on these reviews right here, but for some reason the fourth one was where I just stopped trying. And I was like, you know what, we've got these beautiful new standees for the horror room. Let's go ahead and pick things off. We're in a Freddy mood, obviously, around the house now. So, The Dream Master. What are my thoughts of The Dream Master? Do I think it's a high point for the franchise? Do I personally think it's a low point? I find it just carrying the banner further. I think Nightmare Part 4 is just as good as a lot of them. It may not be my all-time favorite, but let's talk about the things I like and some of the things I may not absolutely adore. So Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 comes off of one of my favorite horror movies ever made, The Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. I just really enjoy The Dream Warriors. I think it's a really enjoyable, fun horror movie. So Part 4 has the unfortunate task of having to recast an actor, and that was Patricia Arquette not returning in 4. And we got Tuesday Night instead. I don't really have a problem with Tuesday Night. I mean, you can't really be mad at her because she had to take the new role because Patricia didn't return. Quite frankly, I kind of like that Tuesday had a little bit more of a to offer in terms of what she could do because she was a singer and she had that beautiful song, Running from This Nightmare, in the beginning of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 that I really love. I love that song. And you do have returning cast members. That's what I love about the Nightmare series too, is, you know, keep the story going. There's new characters, you add more, and it's a nice way to go. You know, Freddy, I always thought looked really good in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Robert looked like he was at like his best physically. Freddy, that skeleton look, and the makeup looked really good for A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. I love the junkyard scene in the beginning with Kincaid, and he's in the junkyard and he doesn't know where to go, and Freddy comes out, and of course the dog waking him up with his urine. So the tonality of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 is even more of a lighter shade of gray than Dream Warriors, and I don't see it as a negative personally. Like, I kind of see, you know, the first movie was like the introduction of that character, and of course, like, it's scary because he's new, he's fresh, you don't know what to expect. But by the time you get to 4, you know, I'm not saying you have to go comedy. You don't always have to do that. There are horror franchises that don't go comedy at all, despite the fact that, you know, the killer is, you know who they are, you know what they're doing, so to speak, and it's like, you know, the mystery's kind of gone, but you still get a lot of enjoyment out of the tonality. But I kind of like the way Nightmare kind of got funnier. Freddy got a little bit more of a personality, he got a little bit goofier. So it was always what I think attracted me to the franchise, because I like a good horror comedy. Freddy had some really funny, great one-liners in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. The characters for this one, I like them probably 95% as much as Dream Warriors. As a matter of fact, I think my favorite character from the entire franchise is Alice. I like the way her character was in 4, from the beginning of the movie all the way till the end, the way she turned into this warrior, this girl who was going to fight. I really like Alice, and there's a lot of people that I talk to that they feel the same way, but a lot of other people, their favorite is Heather Langenkamp. My favorite was always Alice, so 4 and 5 to me are some of my favorites in the franchise because of the character of Alice. She's great in there. A lot of the death scenes in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 are pretty funny to me. The wanna suck face is always funny. Love the way he was cutting the apple. I also like a lot some of the visuals of Tuesday Night as she's burning in hell with Freddy, and Alice is trying to stop it and she can't do anything. I mean, I like a lot of things about A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. You know, it's not my absolute favorite in the franchise, and, you know, but it's far from my least favorite. So I think 4 is great. I never, ever skip Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. And the only thing that's interesting about this movie to me is it seems like a lot of the movie takes place in the daytime, and everybody's falling asleep in the daytime. And Robert has called this the MTV Nightmare, and I can kind of equate some of that to what I see on the movie, and that's not a knock, you know. I think it's got its identity because of that, quite frankly, and I give the movie the nickname Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 the Daydream Master, because everybody's falling asleep in the daytime. Remember, Tuesday Night was having supper with her mom when she got home from school, and she says, "You just killed me," when she, like, it's daytime, she was eating food, and she passes out, and, you know, as she's running up the stairs. So it's not a knock. I like it. It's different. But I always love nighttime in my Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think that's why I love Part 2 a lot so much, because a lot of times Jesse is falling asleep, and when he goes, it's all about when he goes to sleep at night, and that's when Freddy takes over, because for me, night always leverages itself to more horror and more creepiness. But Part 4 has its identity because of the daytime, so while it may not be my preferred choice, it definitely has its identity for me there. The only scene that I think is bad in the movie, and you know, even the filmmakers would say this, was the scene where the kid has getting killed by the invisible Freddy in the karate room. I mean, even he admits that it's not a great scene. I don't think it's completely horrible, but they definitely should have been able to do what they had initially planned, I believe, with the elevator stuff, and it never worked out. I think they ran out of money or time, so that was unfortunate because that would have been a great scene for the brother of Alice, which, you know, unfortunately never panned out. The ending of Part 4 I like a lot. I really don't have anything overly negative to say about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. As a matter of fact, I really like the movie. I think it has a fantastic soundtrack. I love listening to it on vinyl. Great songs, although I don't really hear much of it in the movie, you know, but that's a lot of the soundtracks that you'd get from those movies. So I give Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 a solid 8.8 out of 10. I really love it. This is my favorite franchise, so I'm gonna be a little bit harder than I would typically be on the rest of these because I really want to just be really honest and open about the things that I think about with this movie. But with all that being said, I love A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. It feels very unique in the franchise because it has its unique style, look, and even though we had to trade out Patricia Arquette for Tuesday Night, I think Tuesday was great for the job. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, guys. We're going to finish out these series with reviews, which I started back in 2017. I don't know why I stopped, but, you know, obviously something like this kind of made me want to, you know, kick it back up. So there it is, guys. See you next time when we will do A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child.